All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, man. Today we are talking the Toronto Raptors. Tomorrow we have game number 6 in Toronto. Unfortunately, Matisse Thybulle can't play there, so that kind of hurts the Raptors' chances. But I'm feeling good, man. I really am feeling good. That's been the way, and Nick Nurse pointed it out. You win game 4. Obviously, no team in NBA history. It's happened in other sports. No team in NBA history has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. You win game 4, and it's a 3-1. And that's been done before. In fact, Doc Rivers has done it 23% of the time in NBA history. That stat, when I heard that, my mind was blown. I heard that from Amateur Hour Sports. Shout him out. If you like Raptors content, definitely, you've probably heard of him, actually. But points out that Doc Rivers holds, of all 3-1 deficits, where the team has come back down 3-1, Doc Rivers holds coach 23% of them. It's unreal. If there's going to be a team to do it, it's Doc Rivers, James Harden, Joel Embiid. If there's going to be a team who does it to them, it's going to be this Toronto Raptors squad. I got to say here, the Raps are against all odds. It's evident. The Raptors are against all odds. Injured Fred. Do we even have Fred playing next game? Are they better out without Fred? It makes a defense or makes the offense flow a little bit differently. Maybe less harder to scheme against. It's interesting because I love Fred, but if Fred isn't 100%, I don't know if he really has benefited them. In the couple of games that Toronto's won, it's not like they've played out of their minds. It sounds crazy to say, 103-88. I'm talking more offensively. Defensively, except for maybe game 1, Toronto's been locked in. I mean, they've been completely locked in. They've been locked in all season. You let this team get healthy, you give them a center, you give them a combo guard off the bench, this team could go far. I was going to say far, and then I went with further, so we landed with fur. But there's some things I want in Game 6, and it really starts and ends with Siakam. I mean, obviously, Game 4, the man went off. 30 points, man went completely off. Last game, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. What is going on? 10 of 17 from the field, 2 of 4 from downtown. Siakam's number 1. Is undisputed. Siakam is number 1. And the one thing I'm keeping an eye on is what I love is when the Raps cause turnovers. Game 1, I think the Sixers turned the ball over 4 times. They weren't really able to get anything at all in transition. Raps kind of thrive on transition. You've got all these different skill sets on the offensive end. And I really love when Siakam and the boys get downhill in a fast break, with an advantage, with a man advantage, 2-man advantage, whatever it is, maybe even if it's a one-on-one. That's where I'm taking Siakam. Where I see Siakam get issues is if you have Joel Embiid with no foul trouble and he's just kind of lurking in the paint. Tobias is on him. He's trying to maneuver. Even if he does maneuver around Tobias, Joel Embiid's right there. So it's nice to get guys like Precious Achiuwa, who was 7 of 11 last game, 17 points. OG Anunoby, who had a great game, 7 of 15. Gary Trent Jr., 16 points. It's critical that those guys, that they're respected, that they're knocking shots early. And that's what is so critical is you got to get off to a good start. You got to get off to a good start. You got to make your open shots. Because if you're making your open shots, it honestly just takes a lot of pressure off Siakam. Because you're not going to want to double Siakam in the paint. Joel's not going to want to double Siakam in the paint. If there's a wide open 3 guy, it poses issues. If they're knocking in their threes, which if we're being real, Toronto has yet in all 5 games to really have a good all-around 3-point game. This last game, we're looking at 8 of 31. If Toronto gets their 3-point percentage up to 35, 40, that's a scary offense, with or without Fred VanVleet. So, I know everything is against him, and I know we have Doc Rivers coming out and saying, I got something in my back pocket that I haven't really deployed yet. What is it going to be? Literally, what could it be? There's no skill on that man's bench. There's no skill on the Sixers bench. They have some guys who can do some things. But if Danny Red is starting and throwing down dunks, you're not winning that game. Danny Red's been shut down pretty much. I guess Danny Red's really been kind of saving the Sixers. But if Danny Red is the guy that the Sixers are relying on offense when things aren't working, Embiid's getting double teamed, Embiid's getting trapped, he's getting triple teamed, he's got an injury. James Harden hasn't done anything. I'll take the ball in Danny Red's hands. Yeah, hell yeah, I will. At this point in his career, you're damn straight. So I anticipate Khem Birch getting more minutes. His minutes have slowly been rising in this series. I actually kind of like the defense he's been playing on Joel. I know he's very suitable to mistakes, and I know he's very prone to, mistakes on both ends. But let's be real here, 10 to 15 minutes for Khem Birch, he's giving you defense. And if he isn't even necessarily filling up a stat sheet, which if you're expecting Khem Birch to fill up a stat sheet, your priorities are mistaken. He's a big body. He can switch on different defenders or offensive players. I like Khem Birch, man. And I know that, Khem, the season I was anticipating for Khem was not what he did. But I'm telling you, man, he can be solid. He can be a dark horse for this squad. But if I'm looking at offensively, I'm viewing Gary Trent, OG Anunoby, Siakam. Those are the money guys. You have to play good. Game 6, man, you have all the control here. If I'm Philadelphia, you have an extra day of rest, which, I guess, helps Scotty. I don't think we'll see Freddie, but it helps Scotty. Helps Gary get over his illness. Helps Joel a little bit, but at this point, he's playing through injury, man. The Sixers are screwed if they move on around. I think they're starting to realize that, unless Maxey and Harris combine for like at least 50 every game like they did in Game 1, where they combined for 38. Whatever 38 plus 27 is, that's what they combined for in Game 1. So I'm looking at OG, who's had a phenomenal series except for, maybe Game 4. I'm looking at Gary, who's had a phenomenal last 2 games since he's gotten unsick, I guess is the word, and Siakam, who has been really solid when the pressure is on. As crazy as that may seem, he's been really solid, man. I know 23 points isn't anything like, whoa, we dropped 23 points. But his contributions, it's more than just a stat sheet. It's more than just a stat sheet. Some sleepers I'm looking at are Scotty Barnes and Precious Achiuwa. I think those are your sleepers. If you're getting 15 from either of them, if you're getting 15 from both of them and the defense that both of them provide, Precious, especially with Joel Embiid, Scotty Barnes just being so versatile, you're money, dude. So if you get good 3 contributions from Siakam, OG, and Gary, and you get good bench and assistance in the starting lineup from Scotty, I imagine Precious will be coming off the bench once again with Khem starting, you're looking solid. You're looking solid. And then you get your contributions from Thaddeus Young. Then you get your contributions from Chris Boucher. And I really like the Raptors' chance here. It really is at this point, especially with it being Doc Rivers and James Harden and Joel Embiid, like, you just need to win tomorrow. Game 7, anything can happen, as every Raptor fan in the planet understands. Anything can happen in Game 7. Just get to Game 7, one game at a time. What's so hard about, or I shouldn't word it like that, but it's just 4 straight wins. It sounds bad when you word it like that, but we've seen the Raptors rattle off 4 wins several times in the season. We've seen them rattle off more than 4 wins several points in the season. I'm loving their chances, man. I really am. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, hit that sub button. I just wanted to get a kind of Rats hype video out, kind of talking about tomorrow's game. I will be live for it, hopefully. We're out here battling finals, but I should be live for tomorrow. I appreciate all the love, Raps Nation, for real, man. Let's try and hit 100 likes on today's video. It really means a lot to me, carrying the channel. And let's get this win, man. Let's get to Game 7. Peace.